almost floating. And we act them as the table, and the tilt allows the heavy ones to go high, believe it or not, and the light ones stay down low.
So I see here some little stones.
Yep.
I guess that are going to
now,
be cut off.
hopefully we get this eye set up. See, we've only had this eye. This was the first season we've had it. And so some of the varieties, we're still adjusting that eye, and so we become comfortable with what it can do with some of the varieties. The white beans are simple. You know, I shouldn't say simple, but much easier for the eye.
The color.
But the colored beans, when you're trying to take out a different shade of the same color, the eye has to take a little better look at it. These are called mechanical splits, and that's from the harvester itself out in the field. But you can see here, there's a whole bean and there's a whole bean. And that's actually a different variety. That should have been should have been roved out in the field as an off type. Somebody missed that.
What do you do with the splits?
Go to culls, just cattle feed, or just go to the dump.
Okay, so a lot of the lower quality product is used for feed, or sold to
not so much these, but the Lima types. There is a demand, and there's a need for those out in the cattle. It's just cheap. People with sheep and goats buy them too, and we just bag them up in 50-pound bags and sell them. Like $4 a bag. You don't get much for them.
So what would you do with these? Is it not that much waste?
These, I don't know until we're all done. I'm saying that what we'll lose out of here is probably going to be 2 or 3%. You're going to see that little storm right there come out. I just lost it. There it is. And these splits will come out. Now see, the eye will look at that. You'll see that split real easy.
Right. But I mean, those are still edible.
Oh yeah, they're edible. But when the consumer comes and looks at a nice package of beans, they don't want to see those splits. So we pull them out. Before we had 4 eyes that would do about 40 to 45 bags an hour. With 4 people behind it on tables just rechecking what the eye was doing. That eye now will keep up with the mill at 6,500 to 7,000 pounds an hour with no one behind it. It's really it's almost like magic. This is the eye. These beans they're fed into the hopper, which is above the concealer here, big hopper, and then come down underneath these belts. And these beans are flying through so fast from these different channels. And you can imagine
it's a single line in each one.
And doing 6,000 to 7,000 pounds an hour. This thing is just puffs of air. And then the rejects go on one side and the good beans go on the other.
And so this is where you set the color and the size and all that you want it to look for?
And I'm not a high-tech guy, so I can't even begin to tell you how all this works. We still have some hand-picking tables out there because there are some beans that we do for export to Japan, Fabas being one of them, that they pay us a premium, but they want like a fava bean that it's a certain configuration, and some of them will come out a little more round, and they want those out. The eye's not going to see that. So they want those hand-picked out of there because they sell those beans or seed in Japan in little tiny bags, and they're hand-planted, and so these growers want. So we grow the seed for that, and they're willing to pay us a premium to do that. So we still have the hand-picking tables for some of the specialty stuff. We used to employ a lot of people here doing just that, hand-picking. Sometimes beans will come in, maybe they got a little chalky dirt stain to them from the soil that's in the field. What you did there. And sometimes, if we had a little bit of rain, there might be some dirt stuck, in the form of some dried mud on the bean. So if you need to polish it, it's a wet sawdust polisher. And we add moisture to it, and anyway, it goes through these drums. And the beans go through with that wet sawdust, and they just kind of tumble slowly. And that sawdust just kind of polishes the beans. And then they go across these screens, and the sawdust falls through. We reuse it, gets elevated back up, so we reuse it, and then the beans flow on down and the rest of the process. Anytime you can avoid mechanical, that's what I'm looking for here, running beans through a mechanical device, you're better off because that adds to the crack. So we only use a polisher when it's absolutely necessary, but sometimes under certain conditions we have to do that. Cauliflower seed and broccoli seed is round. So we flow, let them flow through the top there, and they spin, and the rounder, more and heavier seed tends to stay to the outside. and the lighter seed stays on the inside, and it separates. And it has a big drum in there, and you change the screen on that drum depending on what you're cleaning. But celery seed and parsley seed and carrot seed are not round. They're more of a flat, rough skin thing, so spirals will not work. So this is the machine that we use for the final cleaning to get light seed out, pieces of dirt that might be flat, and to separate from the seed. And it's kind of a slow process. You're looking at a few hundred pounds an hour is about all you can do. But as compared to beans, you're not doing the volume of these kinds of processes. 50 pounders, and these are Confitos, and they're fun. And you can set that scale to whatever you want, and it just shuts off automatically. So the bag is there, it shuts off at say 25 pounds or 50 pounds, whatever it is. Sitting on a conveyor belt similar to that with a stitcher. So it gets stitched, and then right over with a pallet, they just stack them on the pallet.
So you hire seasonally, like in the fall you have a lot of help, and then it's sort of...
Yeah, for about 5 months. We have, what do we have, five full-time guys out here that are, they know how to operate the equipment. They're forklift trained and certified and all of that. And then we have some seasonal people too that just help us sack beans and load beans. And you'll have maybe 2 or 3 trucks a day in here to get loaded. So it takes people.
So that's like fall and winter. You're pretty active.
Yeah, from probably about the 15th of, we start milling about the 15th of September. So into the end of January. And we still have that old John Deere tractor there that my grandson, who's in high school now, 17 years of age, is restoring it for a county fair in high school.